Hi everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today. We're going to be using two retiring stamp sets that I've really enjoyed working with. The Happy Birthday Gorgeous, we're going to be getting the sentiment from that one, and then the Petal palette set with these beautiful roses and all these great expressions is retiring as well. So we're going to do some coloring and some cutting and make this card and say goodbye to these two sets as they are retiring at the end of the catalog. So June 3rd is the end. So if you don't have them yet and you want them in your collection, hop on over to the online store and get them ordered so that you don't miss out. Okay, so this is kind of a simple card as far as putting it together, but it has some detail work we have to do. So let's get started. I have a Calypso Coral card base, and I'm using Shimmer White as my neutral. Okay, so I have my normal card base. Then I have a piece of Calypso Coral, which I've cut down and I've embossed with the Tile Dynamic folder, just to give that a little background for here. And I am going to put that right on my card with dimensionals. So I'm going to use up some of these edges here. So I'm just going to put some in the corners. I'll probably put a little bit in the middle just to give it a little bit of lift so it doesn't sink down in. Okay, so get your dimensionals on there, whether you're using the edges, right? Don't waste good product. You pay for it and it's usable, so use it. And I know I have some people sometimes say, hey, it gets too bulky and the postage wants to do more. You can always snail it down flat if you don't want it too bulky, but I like lift. So, alright, so there's our Calypso Coral base with our embossed panel on top. Okay, now I have pre-cut from Shimmering White with my stitched circle die, and this is going to become our sentiment. Okay, so with Calypso Coral, keeping it kind of monochromatic, I'm going to open up my ink, and I have mounted my Happy Birthday to You right on my stamp. Okay, and I just put those on my grid paper, and I just set my block on there, and now I have, make sure it's going to fit. We're good. So now I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it on my circle. Just like that. Okay, so I've got my sentiment now, and I can put my Calypso Coral ink away. Now that's going to get put on with a couple of dimensionals as well. Now the reason I'm putting this one on with dimensionals is, see all these flowers we're going to put on? We're going to kind of tuck them behind, so by putting this up on dimensionals, it's going to give us a little bit of a gap for us to adhere all those bits and pieces on. So you can place that kind of in the center where you want to. Alright, so now for the flowers. So we have to stamp them. Now I am going to use the blends to color them, so we're going to use our Memento ink. Now I need two sets of flowers. So I'm going to ink this up with my Memento black. And I'm going to stamp one set. I'm going to repeat. Stamp the second set. And I'm going to do the smaller flower set here too, and I need two of those. Okay, so just like that, and then I can take those to my die cutting machine, and I can die cut the roses, and I can die cut the little sprig of flowers, right, and get those cut out. And after you cut them out on the Big Shot, we'll also color them in. So I used Light Calypso and the Granny Green duo to do the flower, and then for the little one I used the Light Real Red and the Granny Green. So I'm not going to do all the coloring today because I think most of you probably have been using your blends and you understand how to color with them. Nice and light, not a lot of pressure. Put the color on where you need it. Okay, so now here's kind of the fussy part. So now we've got our stamped, die cut, and color flowers, right? So now we're going to make this one into a flower trio, and we're going to trim off the green leaves. Okay, And for that red one, we're going to cut the flowers into 2 separate flowers, and then we've got that leaf too. So this is where we have a little bit of busy working time to do. So I'm going to scroll in my camera a little bit and cut apart the second one so you can see how I did that, and then we'll go ahead and build our flower. So let me zoom the camera in, make sure that I'm going to work in the space that you can see. Alright, so first let's do the big guy. So I come in with my paper snips and I'm just going to free right around the edge, just free those leaves. Okay, just focus on the leaves first. So let's go ahead and trim those off. Now I do leave that little guy there just because he was pretty small and I didn't want to have to fuss with him. So I left him on, but I do take off this other big one. Okay, so there's our leaves. Then I need to come in and I need to take this V out between these flowers. So I'm just going to bring my scissors in and go close to my edge as best as I can and just open up that space. Okay, just opening up that space. And then because I've cut all those leaves and things off, I decided to go ahead and just clean up these edges so that my flower image, the black image, is the edge instead of having all this kind of broken up white halo. So, like I said, there's a little bit of fussy cutting involved, but it is going to be a beautiful card with a beautiful spray of flowers. So sometimes fussy cutting is worth it. So just go right around and take off that white halo on the Calypso Coral Roses. Okay, almost done. While I'm doing this, I should tell you that I really wanted to use this set one more time with you guys. It is one of my favorites, definitely one I'm going to be keeping in my collection. But I was searching Pinterest for some fun new ideas of how to use it, because I've used it quite a bit. And this was inspired by one of the cards I did see on Pinterest, so thank you to all of you who share your card making inspiration with the rest of us. We appreciate it. Okay, now this guy I'm going to cut into 2 flowers and the leaf. So first I just come right up the stem and I take off the leaf. Okay, that's easy. Then I'm going to fussy cut the white halo off the edge as best you can. Now this one is pretty tiny, so take your time. But now the reason I want to take the halo off is because, remember we cut a V into that opening of the Calypso one? These little flowers are going to stick down and behind that V a little bit to create our flower bouquet. So since our Calypso Coral got all trimmed down without the white halo, I decided I wanted to keep that imagery with the flowers. So there's one, and then I just need to clean up this one a little bit too. Okay, so once you have, like I said, stamped, die cut, color, and then trim up your flowers, right? We'll make our bouquets and take our flowers home and trim up our flowers, so same idea if they're paper. Alright, so now let me zoom back out and I'm going to show you how I build this spray of flowers. Okay, ready? So first we're going to start with the coral roses. I'm going to put the coral roses on dimensionals because again I want to be able to slide the leaves back down underneath them, right? So let me peel off the backers. There's one more on this one, put one on each flower. So you got nice even lift on your image. Alright, so this one I'm going to put on up here, so just find how it fits on your card. And then this one's going to go on the opposite down here, down below. Okay, and see, this is where that V is cut open. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take glue dots, take off some of this extra, and first let's go ahead and do the leaves. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 for each flower, right? Alright, so glue dots, I'm just going to stick these on, make them like stickers, okay? And I'm going to come back up in here and I'm just going to slide these underneath and put them on. And see, I left that gap there, but I'm going to slide this leaf right in there so it's not going to be empty space. And this one I'm going to slide over here and pair it back up with that one. But it just gives you different dimension on your lift of the flower. And then I'm going to repeat that down here on the bottom. Now you don't have to put the leaves in exactly the same places every time. You know, build them where you want them. Be creative. Put this one up here. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So now I've got our little red roses, right? So I'm going to put glue dot on my roses. And now these guys, remember that V? I'm sliding that little tail down and then I'm just going to glue that to the flower. And then this one just goes in best we can. You know what? I'm just going to take that right off. I don't need it. Just put that right in there. See? Repeat that with the one down here below. So how's that? And then I've got these little tiny sprigs that I cut off the red roses. I'm going to stick those in. Yeah, I'm going to put one there. And I'll put one over here just to balance it. Okay, so a little bit of fussy work there to get those down, but now they're on. And then just to add a little bit of balancing, I've got my rhinestones. And you're just, oops! Maybe I should have used my pick tool. Okay, there's one. And here's 2. So just a little bit of bling to offset all of that. And then for your envelope, right, we're stamping a card. Stamp the envelope. I'm using that little sprig again. I'm just going to put it right here in the corner. There we go. Little excitement in the mailbox. And there we have it. So, not a difficult card, just a little bit of fussy work. But I like the end result. So, if you want to try this, go on and get your stamp sets out and give it a go. Now there's lots of flower sets, so you could obviously case this, right? Copy and selectively add it with other flower cards. Just use the layout. So I hope you enjoy your stamping adventures, and I hope you do some fun stamping today. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Don't forget, Tuesday's newsletter will have the instructions, and the blog post will likely have the instructions as well. Alright guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.